A great and pious woman, the wife of a great rabbi, told Rabbi Solomon Schwarden, the Maggid of Jerusalem, that her husband once asked her to always insult him publicly. Of course, this was a very unusual request to make of a religious woman who held her husband's honor in the highest regard. Nevertheless, he asked and urged her to do this for him. She did not know what to think or do, and said to him, "My dearest husband, I understand that this is what you want, and the rabbis say, who is a good wife? One who does what her husband wants. But how can I humiliate myself publicly by the very act of humiliating you, my husband, whom I should respect? Everyone will say, what a terrible wife." Her husband said, "Let me tell you an amazing story about Frida, the daughter of Rabbi Yechezkel Landau, the Noda Beyehuda. She was the wife of the rabbi of Posen in Poland, whom everyone called Rabbi Yosef the Tzaddik because he was so righteous. His famous father-in-law, the great Noda Beyehuda, spoke of him with the highest praise, saying he was the greatest of his generation in Torah and mitzvot. But whenever people came to this Rabbi Yosef the Tzaddik to ask a question in halacha, his wife would say to them, 'To whom are you coming to ask a question? To a hypocrite and a fraud, whom I know intimately? I tell you, he's worthless, less than zero. He hasn't a single good trait of a tzaddik.' Rabbi Yosef the Tzaddik would hear her and not answer a word. Of course, everyone in the city was shocked by her behavior. Her own father, the famous Noda Beyehuda, respected and revered her husband so much, and she belittled and humiliated him publicly. They were all very distressed that the wife of the rabbi of Posen did not appreciate his greatness. But when Rabbi Yosef the Tzaddik passed away, the Rebbitzin made it known that she wanted to eulogize him. Everyone was astonished. She had lowered him his whole life, and now, when he was dead, she wanted to praise him? But she insisted, so they had to agree. In her eulogy, she said, "Rabbi Yosef the Tzaddik, Rabbi Yosef the Tzaddik, Rabbi Yosef, you certainly were a tzaddik, but you made a condition with me at our engagement that I agreed to publicly insult you, so you would not become proud, since everyone knew of your genius in Torah and your righteousness. What I did was only because you asked and pleaded with me to do it, not because I was bad-hearted. I was only a good wife, as the rabbis say, who did the will of her husband. Who, more than I," she said, "knew your greatness and goodness?" When she had finished, everyone present saw with their own eyes that the head of the tzaddik laying there nodded in agreement, testifying to the truth of her words. This was the story that the rabbi told his wife. Then he added, "I am not Rabbi Yosef the Tzaddik. I can't nod my head after death to show everyone that you're a good wife, but I'll write a note for you that I'll sign that you did everything only because I asked you, because a good wife does what her husband wants." The rabbi's wife told this story to Rabbi Shalom Schwarden. She then said to him, "He always begged me to insult him publicly, and I did it only because of the note he gave me." Rabbi Schwarden said, "I asked her to show me the note, but she absolutely refused. Only after I begged and urged her did she show the note to me, with her husband's signature. But before she showed it to me, she warned me in every way never to tell this story to anyone while she was alive. I asked her why she didn't want to reveal the story or the note. Didn't she want the note to prove that she insulted her holy husband only because she was a good wife and not because she was bad-hearted?" She answered me, "The daughter of Noda Beyehuda was a great woman. She merited that heaven reveal the truth of her words to everyone by her husband nodding his head. But I'm not so great. Let me at least have the merit in the world to come of having done this one mitzvah perfectly, that I was a good wife who did what my husband wanted." I told her, "I can name many mitzvot you've done," because in fact she was as famous as a great woman, but she insisted and did not budge from her resolve, saying, "No mitzvah matches this one." In this story, In the story within the story, each husband wanted his wife to do him a great spiritual favor of insulting him publicly so that he would not become proud. How holy a man must be to ask this. But the wife in each case humiliated herself even more by humiliating her husband publicly. Why did she do it? To fulfill the rabbi's dictum that a good wife does what her husband wants. But she also did it because, like her husband, she knew that by lowering herself in this way and humiliating not only him but herself, she would reap the great spiritual reward of humility. We could ask why each husband would ask his wife to humiliate herself in this way. The only answer would be that he wanted for her what he wanted for himself, to achieve humility through humiliation. The behavior of each couple expressed an unspoken agreement between them to strive for holiness and humility, and they succeeded. In each case, the husband's secret remained hidden until after his death. In the second case, of the Rebbitzin who told this whole story to Rabbi Schwarden, she too wanted her secret to remain hidden until after her death. Then she would have fulfilled the mitzvah of doing her husband's will perfectly, without seeking to repair her damaged reputation. How great this woman's husband to desire to be publicly humiliated in order to remain humble. But his wife was even greater. She allowed herself to be publicly abased even more by humiliating him. How can a person bear this or desire this? The answer is that holy people are above praise or blame and care only what God thinks of them, and humility has great spiritual rewards. This story comes from Jewish Tales of Holy Women by Yitzchak Buxbaum.